Clock is ticking and hearts are pounding at Motorworks Brewing as they prepare for the big moment they have waited for and worked toward for a long time. Motorworks is an award-winning brewery, winning awards in both the U.S. Beer Championships and the Best of Craft Beer Awards. And on Friday, they're unveiling something brand new. We welcome Barry Elwanger, the Director of Sales and Marketing at Motorworks Brewing, to give us an inside scoop. Okay, Barry, we won't tell anybody. Tell us what the big reveal is going to be on Friday.
Tell the world.
Okay.
So this is a really fun project. We're one of the few breweries in the state that actually has a full liquor license as well, which is a great means of access. You know, if that group of four has one person that doesn't like beer, we have something for them. We'll make you try some beers, but you know what, if you complain, we'll pour you a gin and tonic or, you know, some bourbon or what have you. We ended up teaming up with one of our friends that owns a distillery out of Tampa, Dark Door Spirits, and we turned some of our Midnight Espresso Coffee Porter, the beer, into a whiskey. So we're releasing that American whiskey this weekend. We're going to be doing neat pours of it as well as cocktails with it, and we're going to be doing pre-sales for future batches of it. This is a very, very small run, so we're not selling bottles today, but we're going to in the future.
This
Sounds
is blowing
like
people's
magic.
minds, I think. We're trying to get our brain around, you can take beer and turn it into whiskey?
Yeah. So
Only they can do that, though.
yes, only us. Yeah, so they actually distilled it down. So what we do is very similar, you know, product base. You take those barleys and those grains and whatnot, and you make your mash. And that's where they start their process too. That's where we start our process for making beer before we add, you know, the yeast to it and let it ferment and become ultimately beer once it becomes alcohol and, you know, CO2 and beautiful, delicious tasting beverages. They take that same kind of basis thought on those early ingredients and distill them. So they turn it into a vapor and then bring it back down into a liquid to distill it, and then they'll, you know, do that a couple of times throughout the process and hit different proof levels. Well, they actually took our beer, like the basis of the beer, and used it as their base and created it as an American whiskey. We tried 20 different types of iterations of it to find where we wanted the flavor to land. So there was different char levels on the oak and the barrels that were you know, used throughout it, and they literally handed us a box with 20 different varietals of it, and we dialed in where we wanted the total batch to land at. So it's been a big process, but really, really cool, really unique, and just a fun project with another local
You guys
company.
always do
How
it right.
did you come up with
You
this
always do it
idea?
right.
This is an art.
Yes.
You know, it starts with the beer. So, you know, our Midnight Espresso Coffee Porter we've been doing for years. We love darker beers. We like to have one around year round, even though in the summer months, you know, a lot of people want something that's a little bit more vibrant and lower alcohol and easier to, you know, lighter on the palate, if you will.
And let's,
Well, we still want one of
taste
these
it
in the
just
summer.
to celebrate
Yeah.
that. So this is
Okay.
the existing beer that everyone knows
This
about.
is the beer, so
Won
everybody
awards.
knows the beer.
Yes, this one's won a bunch of awards. And we, uniquely, we actually roast the coffee at our brewery. So we have a big commercial grade coffee roaster, and our head brewer, Bob, has been a long time, you know, coffee roaster as well. We got a lot of vices. And we take that coffee and then do pretty much a cold brew process infusion into our beer. And then that's our Midnight Espresso Coffee Porter, which we can and have on draft throughout the year. And then again, we took that after many conversations with our friends at Dark Door, and over a couple of beers came up with the concept of, hey, why don't we turn a beer into a whiskey?
So what is this next one? What is this?
So that is actually the whiskey. That's neat. That is just the straight whiskey.
So these two went together.
That
This
became
is their
this.
love
That
child.
Yes, yes.
So this is Eye of Midnight?
This is Eye of Midnight, and this is what we're releasing this week. But you're going to have really cool notes of like a nutty note to it. It's going to have notes of like cacao and then like a touch of black cherry in it also.
Oh, wow.
So you actually, some of the flavors that are from you know, the beer actually parlayed all the way down through that process, and you can have it like those notes of cacao that is clearly from the beer, and those nutty notes really play into it as well. It's very cool, very
creamy.
neat.
Yeah.
That's what he
So-
said, notes
so-
of a cow.
So not everyone
is this one?
loves a neat pour, so you found a way to make it into a cocktail.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a couple of different cocktails with it that day, but I made just a standard old-fashioned today, tried and true, but you know, you get a little touch of sweetness in there and a little bit of those orange bitters to round it out, and you have something that's you know, a little bit more opening for you all, for
Very
those
good.
getting new into the market, or for those that just really want a nice drink to have a nightcap or a start of the night with.
That is
So
delicious.
how are you going to reveal this on Friday? What are you going to do at Motorworks then?
Well, Dark Doors team's going to be out there, so we're going to be, have them sampling a couple of their products, and then of course we're going to have the product available for full pours, and we're going to be doing kind of a Boilermaker